Welcome back to EverlastCyber. This is the part 2 video for the CompTIA A plus practice questions and answers for core 1. So we're going to be looking at more practice questions and answers to help in your preparation for the certification exam. As always, there are two cores for this certification. There's a core 1 and a core 2. Core 1 covers mobile devices, networking, hardware, virtualization and cloud computing, and hardware and network troubleshooting. While Core 2 covers operating systems, security, software troubleshooting, and operational procedures. So we're going to start off with question 1. Which one of the following is an example of an APIPA IP address? A. 82.129.80.111. B. 127.0.0.1. C. 169.254.213.235. D. 192.168.30.7. An APIPA IP address is also known as the automatic private IP addressing. It is a feature in window-based operating systems that automatically assigns IP addresses from the range of 169.254.0.1 to 169.254.255.254, especially when the DHCP server is not available. So in this network, no static IP addresses has been assigned. So based on the question we have here, an example of an APIPA IP address will be option C, 169.254.213.235. Option A, 82.129.80.111 is a public IP address. Option B, 127.0.0.1 is a loopback IP address and it is used for internal testing on a local machine. Option D, 192.168.30.7 is a private IP address which is for Class C. So with regards to the APIPA IP address, that would be option C. Question 2. Adam is building a computer for a client. What should Adam do to prevent electrostatic discharge? A. Turn power off. B. STP. C. Wear an anti-static wrist strap. D. Wash hands. An electrostatic discharge, or ESD, is the sudden flow of electricity between two electrically charged objects caused by contact. Now, this causes an electrical short, and it is a significant concern in electronics because it can cause extensive damage to sensitive electronic components. So the first thing in this scenario that Adam should do would be to wear an anti-static wrist strap. Wearing this will ground Adam and prevent the buildup of static electricity that can discharge and cause harm and damage to the sensitive computer components. Turning off the power is important for safety, however, it does not prevent the ESD. STP is just a type of cabling that prevents electromagnetic interference, however, it doesn't prevent ESD. Washing of hands is a good practice for cleanliness, but it does not prevent ESD. So the first thing to avoid and prevent an ESD would be to wear an anti-static wrist strap. Question 3. An organization maintains various record types, including health and criminal justice records. Which of the following cloud environments is the organization most likely to use to limit the attack surface? A. Public. B. Hybrid. C. Community. D. Private. A public cloud is an environment that is shared among multiple organizations. Now, while it is secure, the shared nature increases the attack surface compared to the correct cloud type. A hybrid cloud is a combination of a private and public cloud, and it allows data and applications to be shared between them. Now, while it provides flexibility, the complexity of managing both environments can increase the attack surface. A community cloud is one that is shared among several organizations with similar interests and concerns, like security and compliance. Now, while it is more secure than a public cloud, it is not as controlled and isolated as a private cloud. A private cloud environment is dedicated to a single organization and it offers a higher level of security and control over the infrastructure. And this makes it ideal for storing sensitive data like health and criminal justice records. So, in this case, the cloud environment the organization is most likely to use will be option D, the private cloud. Question 4. Ben has a laptop that has been working as expected for several years, but the laptop now has a small bulge in the bottom casing and overheats occasionally while plugged into a wall outlet. What is the most likely component that needs to be replaced? A. Power adapter. B. Battery. C. System fan. D. Hard drive. The power adapter, if it is faulty, it can cause overheating. However, it will not cause a bulge in the laptop's casing. The battery, which is found at the bottom of the laptop, can get swollen due to age and excessive heat, and this can cause overheating. The system fan, when it malfunctions, it can lead to overheating, but it will not cause a bulge in the casing. And a hard drive, it can cause overheating when it has boot problems, but it will not cause a bulge. A hard drive failure will manifest as data access issues or boot problems, but it will not manifest as overheating or a physical bulging. So in this case, the component that is most likely needed to be replaced will be option B, the battery. The symptoms described in this scenario, where there's a small bulge in the bottom casing and overheating occurs, would be a classic sign of a failing or bad battery. Question 5. Which of the following cloud models maintains access even when a local internet outage occurs? A. Private. B. SaaS. C. Community. D. Public. In this, we'll be going with option A, the private cloud. It is set up to maintain access within a local network, so even if there is an internet outage, there will still be connectivity within the local network. This is because the resources and infrastructure are dedicated to that single organization, and it can be managed on premises or through a private network. Question 6. Which of the following wireless standards is only capable of 5 GHz frequency? A. 802.11n. B. 802.11b. C. 802.11a. D. 802.11g. For a 5 GHz network, that would be option C, the 802.11a. The 802.11n operates in both the 2.4 and the 5 GHz frequency bands. The 802.11b operates only in the 2.4 GHz frequency band. The 802.11g operates only in the 2.4 GHz frequency band. So, with respect to the question, we are asked which of the wireless standards is only capable of the 5 GHz frequency. So that is option C, the 802.11a. Question 7. A technician replaced a motherboard on a server, and now the 64-bit hypervisor is not loading correctly. Which of the following needs to be enabled for the hypervisor to run? A. Hardware prefetcher. B. Hyperthreading. C. vPro. D. VTD. For this, I'll just go through the various options. So option A, the hardware prefetcher, it improves performance by predicting what data is needed before it is requested. However, it is not directly related to hypervisor functionality. For option B, hyperthreading, while it is beneficial for multitasking and performance, it is not a requirement for running a hypervisor. The vPro is a set of technologies that enhances remote management and security of PCs, but it is not required for hypervisor operation. The VTD, or Intel Virtualization Technology for Directed Input Outputs, it allows virtual machines to have direct access to some physical hardware devices, which is crucial for the proper functioning of a hypervisor. So in this case, we need to enable the VTD in order to allow virtual machines have direct access to some physical hardware devices that is crucial for the proper functioning of the hypervisor. So if this is not enabled, the hypervisor will encounter issues accessing and managing hardware resources efficiently. Question 8. Your technician is concerned that the Wi-Fi network is being used by unauthorized users. Which of the following would minimize unauthorized use? A. Using a MAC filter. B. Changing the IP address. C. Changing the password. D. Changing the SSID. MAC filtering allows you to specify which devices can connect to your wireless network based on their MAC addresses. Now, each network interface has a unique MAC address assigned by the manufacturer. So when you enable MAC filtering, you create a list of allowed devices that can access your Wi-Fi network. So any device that is not listed on this list will be denied access, and this will minimize unauthorized use of the Wi-Fi network. So we'll be going with option A. Changing the IP address will not directly prevent unauthorized users from accessing the Wi-Fi network because IP addresses can be dynamically assigned or changed, and unauthorized users can still connect if they know the network credentials. Password changing, while it is important for security, if the unauthorized users already have the password, changing it may not prevent them from reconnecting unless all the devices are reconfigured with the new password. Changing the SSID or the network name, it can prevent unauthorized users from easily identifying your network, but it does not prevent them from connecting if they already have the password. So in this case, the best option will be using a MAC filter. Question 9. Zach's mobile phone gets really hot to the touch and does not retain a charge. He also reports that the phone is very slow, especially while charging. Which of the following is most likely causing these symptoms? A. Broken charging port. B. Digitizer failure. C. CPU overheating. D. Defective battery. A broken charger port can cause charging issues. However, it would not directly cause the phone to get excessively hot or affect its performance. A digitizer failure, a digitizer, first of all, is responsible for the touch functionality on the screen, but it does not directly impact battery performance or heat generation. CPU overheating can cause performance issues, but it is less likely to directly affect the battery life. So in this case, the most likely cause of the symptom will be a defective battery. A defective battery can cause a mobile phone to overheat during use or even during charging. This is because over time, batteries degrade, leading to a reduced capacity, and this can result in the phone draining quickly as well as not retaining charge. Now, the heat that is generated by a defective battery can also affect the overall performance of the phone. So it can cause the phone to run slowly, especially when it is under a heavy load, such as during charging. Question 10. Which of the following services provides a device with an IP address? A. Active Directory. B. DHCP. C. Web server. D. DNS. An Active Directory is just a directory service that was developed by Microsoft for Windows Domain Network, but it's not responsible for assigning IP addresses. DHCP, on the other hand, is a service that automatically assigns IP addresses to devices on a network. A web server is a server that hosts websites and delivers web pages to clients, but it does not assign IP addresses to devices. While a DNS is it's a service that translates domain names into IP addresses. Now, it is crucial for locating IP addresses, but it does not assign IP addresses to devices. So the correct option here is option B, the DHCP. The DHCP eliminates the need for manual IP address configuration because it dynamically assigns IP addresses from a predefined range to devices that are requesting for them. Question 11. Which of the following network devices is used to separate broadcast domains? A. Switch. B. Wireless access points. C. Router. D. Hub. A switch operates at the data link layer and it does not separate broadcast domains. However, it can separate collision domains, and with VLAN configuration, it can create multiple broadcast domains within the switch. A wireless access point allows wireless devices to connect to a wired network. However, it does not separate broadcast domains. A router is a device that separates broadcast domains by connecting different networks together, while a hub is a basic networking device that connects multiple devices in a network and it operates at the physical layer. With respect to the question being asked here, the correct answer would be option C, the router. So each port on a router represents a different broadcast domain, which means that broadcasts from one network do not pass through to another network. So this typically helps to manage network traffic as well as improve network performance. Question 12. Which of the following network cables can be used and installed to avoid a fire code violation? A. Fiber. B. Coaxial. C. Shielded twisted pair. D. Plenum. Fiber optic cables are generally safe and they do not conduct electricity. However, they must also be plenum rated if they are installed in plenum spaces in order to comply with fire codes. Coaxial cables are not specifically designed to meet fire safety requirements unless they are plenum rated. Shielded twisted pair are similar to coaxial and fiber cables. However, a standard shielded twisted pair cable must be plenum rated in order to be used in plenum spaces to avoid fire code violations. A plenum cable is designed with a special fire-resistant jacket and low smoke materials to be installed in the plenum spaces of buildings. So the answer here is option D, the plenum cable. Now, the plenum spaces of buildings are spaces like the above suspended ceilings or the raised floors. These areas are used for air circulation and heating and air conditioning systems, and the plenum cables are designed to minimize the risk of fire and toxic smoke in case of a fire. Question 13. A network administrator was notified that laptop users are unable to access or ping any network resources on the corporate network. Which of the following should the network administrator check first? A. DHCP. B. AAA. C. DNS. D. ARP. DHCP is responsible for assigning IP addresses to devices on a network. AAA is important for security. However, any issue with it would result in access denial rather than a complete inability to reach network resources. DNS only resolves domain names to IP addresses, while ARP, Address Resolution Protocol, translates IP addresses to MAC address. With respect to the question here, when users cannot access or ping any network resources, the first thing that the network administrator should check would be option A, the DHCP. Now, if the laptop users are unable to access or ping networks, the network administrator will check this because without a valid IP address, the users would not be able to communicate with other devices on the network. Question 14. Which of the following devices broadcasts out of all its ports? A. Router. B. Switch. C. Access point. D. Hub. A router operates at the layer 3 or the network layer, and it routes data packets between different networks based on their IP addresses. However, it does not broadcast data out of all its ports. A switch operates at layer 2 or the data link layer, and it directs data packets to specific ports based on the MAC addresses. An access point connects wireless devices to a wired network, but it does not broadcast data out of all its ports. A hub, on the other hand, operates at layer 1, the physical layer, and it broadcasts incoming data packets out of all its ports to all connected devices. So, with respect to this question, the answer would be the hub. As seen on the image here, the hub broadcasts data packets out of all its ports to all connected devices, regardless of the destination address. So whether the data packet is meant for user A or user B, the hub just sends out the data packets to all the devices that are connected to it. This can lead to network inefficiencies and collision. Question 15. An organization has some computers running Mac OS and some computers running Windows. The computers running Mac OS also need to run a piece of software that is only available on Windows. Which of the following best describes the solution for running Windows software on a computer running Mac OS? A. Operating system spoofing. B. Remote software provisioning. C. Indirect software implementation. D. Cross-platform virtualization. For this, an operating system spoofing, this is not a common method for running software designed for a different operating system, so that cannot be the answer. Remote software provisioning refers to providing software from a remote server to a client's device, but it does not solve the problem in this scenario where we require the computer running the Mac OS to run a piece of software that is only available on Windows. Indirect software implementation does not describe a method for running software designed for a different operating system, while cross-platform virtualization involves using virtualization software to create a virtual machine on the Mac OS computer and then running a full version of Windows on it. So we'll be going with option D. The cross-platform virtualization allows the Windows-only software to run within the virtual machine as if it were on the native Windows computer. Some virtualization softwares that can be used are Parallel Desktop as well as the VMware Fusion. So, the best solution for running the Windows software on a computer running Mac OS is the cross-platform virtualization. Question 16. Which of the following devices is usually a PC's default gateway? A. Router. B. Switch. C. Hub. D. Access points. For this, we'll be going with option A. The default gateway is the device that routes traffic from a local network to other networks or to the internet. So a router is the default gateway for PCs on a network because this is the device that routes all the traffic on the network. When a PC needs to send data to a destination outside its local network, it forwards the data to the router, and the router then handles the routing to the destination network. Question 17. A field technician has been dispatched to a site with an internet outage. Upon arriving, the technician discovers that the POTS lines are not working as well. Which of the following technologies is the site most likely using? A. Fiber. B. Cable. C. DSL. D. Satellite. Fiber optic internet is a separate technology that does not rely on port lines. So an issue with fiber would not affect the port services unless there is an unrelated problem affecting both services. Cable internet uses coaxial cables and is not dependent on port lines. DSL or digital subscriber lines uses existing telephone lines or ports to provide internet service, while satellite internet is delivered via satellite dishes and is not dependent on port lines. So for this, we'll be going with option C, DSL. That's the digital subscriber line. It uses existing phone lines, ports, or plain old telephone service to provide internet service. So an issue with the phone lines will affect both the ports and the DSL services. Question 20. Team contacts the help desk in reference to a failing thumbprint scanner. He states the scanner was functioning correctly yesterday. Which of the following troubleshooting steps should be performed first after the ticket has been filed? A. Inquire about possible changes. B. File a damage report. C. Requisition a new scanner. D. Attempt to clean the scanner. The first step in any troubleshooting should be to gather more information. So in this, we'll be going with option A, inquire about possible changes. When you have more information about any recent changes that might have affected the thumbprint scanner, then this would help to identify whether any recent configurations or environmental changes are causing the issue. So the first thing to do is to find out from team if anything has changed since the scanner last functioned correctly. So if there has been any software updates or changes to certain or even any physical changes to the scanner, the information provided will help to troubleshoot this issue further. Question 19. Which of the following devices can use VLANs to secure networks? A. Router. B. Switch. C. Hub. D. Access points. For this, we'll be going with option B, switch. Switches can create and manage VLANs because the VLANs allows you to segment a network into different broadcast domains, and this can improve security and also reduce congestion. A router only routes traffic between different networks. A hub is a basic network device that broadcasts incoming traffic to all ports, while an access point only provides wireless connectivity. Question 20. Which of the following connector types is used to terminate old telephone cabling? A. RJ45. B. ST. C. RJ11. D. RJ59. The RJ45 is commonly used to terminate Ethernet cables like the Cat5e or the Cat6. It is not used for old telephone cabling. The ST or straight tip is used to terminate fiber optic connectors. It's used to terminate multi-mode and single-mode fiber optic cables, but it is not used for telephone cabling. The RJ11 is a connector type that is used to terminate old telephone cabling, so it is typically used for analog telephone lines. The RJ59 is a coaxial cable type and it's used for analog video signals. So with respect to this question, the correct answer is the RJ11. It has up to 6 wires and it is used for connecting telephones to wall outlets and other telephone equipment. Question 21. A technician is commissioning a workstation that is required to have mirrored storage, utilizing two 4 terabyte drives that supports one failure. Which of the following best meets these requirements? A. RAID 0. B. RAID 1. C. RAID 5. D. RAID 10. RAID 0 provides stripping without redundancy, however it does not meet the requirements for mirrored storage with fault tolerance. RAID 1 mirrors data across 2 drives, providing redundancy, however it does not offer stripping for increased performance. RAID 5 uses stripping with parity distributed across all drives, and while it can tolerate the failure of one drive, it does not provide mirrored storage. RAID 10 combines RAID 1 mirroring and RAID 0 stripping. So we'll be going with option D. In RAID 10, the data is mirrored across multiple pairs of drives. In this case, for the scenario, we have two 4 terabyte drives. Now, this provides redundancy and also performance benefits, because when one drive fails, it can be tolerated because there's another drive that it can switch to, and also the performance benefits are there, so it provides stripping across the mirrored sets. Question 22. Which of the following cloud models allows an organization to keep data on premises and in the cloud at the same time? A. Hybrid. B. Public. C. Private. D. Community. We'll be going with option A here. The hybrid cloud model allows organizations to keep some data applications on premises as well as in the cloud. So it's a mixture of both the on-site or on-premise as well as in the cloud. The model provides flexibility because it allows organizations to leverage scalability as well as cost effectiveness of public cloud services for certain workloads, while it keeps sensitive data within its private on-premises environment. Question 23. Mary reports that the system time on her PC keeps slowly falling behind. What action can she take? A. Replace the CPU. B. Replace the CMOS battery. C. Replace the motherboard. D. Replace the RAM modules. For this, we'll be going with option B. The CMOS battery is responsible for providing power to the CMOS, which stores the BIOS settings and the system time, even if the computer is powered off. So if the CMOS battery is weak or depleted, it can cause the system time to drift or fall behind. So to rectify this, Mary can replace the CMOS battery with a new one, and she also has to ensure that the CMOS memory retains its settings and that the system time remains accurate. Question 24. A laptop's external webcam software is running, but it shows no image or video. Which of the following should a technician perform first? A. Research new webcam firmware. B. Restart the computer and run system diagnostics. C. Reset the webcam. D. Reinstall the webcam software and drivers. For this, we'll be going with option C. Sometimes the connection between the webcam and the laptop's motherboard may become unstable or loose, and this can cause the webcam to malfunction. So by resetting the webcam, that's by disconnecting and reconnecting it, the technician can ensure that the physical connection is not the cause of the problem. So that's the first thing that the technician should do. Question 25. Andrew connects his smartphone to his laptop. What type of network has Andrew created? A. LAN. B. WLAN. C. PAN. D. GAN. A LAN is a local area network, and it is used to connect devices over a relatively small area, like within a home or an office building. The WLAN is a wireless LAN, and it uses wireless technology for connectivity. A PAN is a personal area network, and it is established by connecting devices over a short distance. So for instance, connecting devices like smartphones or laptops using technologies like Bluetooth or USB. A GAN, a global area network, covers a wider geographic area than the LAN, and it is typically used across multiple cities or countries. So with respect to the scenario here, when Andrew connects his smartphone to his laptop, he has created a PAN, a personal area network. So he has established a network for personal use and data sharing between his two devices, that is his smartphone and his laptop. This brings us to the end of the part 2 video of the CompTIA A plus score 1 questions and answers. Don't forget to like, comment and share if you found this video helpful. Also subscribe to our channels to see more videos on certification preparations, because we'll be dropping more and more videos to help you as you navigate on the cybersecurity journey. Thank you for watching and see you on the next video.